Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. So welcome back to the shop, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Now, two things real quick before we get into the video. If you are going to be looking for some Alexial materials, I had a freight delivery come in the end of this week. So I am fully stocked again. If that's something you're interested in, I will have links below for that down below in the description. And also too, the Annapolis Boat Show is coming up here in a little over a week. And if you haven't heard, I am going to be doing a 2-day hands-on learning seminar as part of the boat show here. That is going to be on October 7th and 8th, and I believe that's the Tuesday and the Wednesday. Now, there are still a few more spots available if that's something you'd be interested in. That the timing of this, it is right between when the powerboat portion of the show ends, and it's just before the sailboat portion starts up. So it's kind of within that dead period between the two shows. But if that's something you'd be interested in, I will have links for that as well down below in the description. Now, as far as what you can expect in the class, if you've never worked with fiberglass before, or if you have real, limited experience, attending something like this would really shorten the learning curve as far as being able to take that information and apply it to your own projects. We're going to be covering working with polyester as well as epoxy, different characteristics between those two, using different fillers, how to mix them, where if you're mixing up a fairing compound versus if you're doing some bonding, doing some filleting, as well as just kind of doing some general fairing in general. What else we got going on here? Going over different types of glass and their applications, whether you're waterproofing, you're trying to get some structural build, you're just kind of doing some general, just, whatever. A dock jumped out and you got a little ubu to turn around. Just basic, the general stuff, but it's going to cover a lot of the general stuff. So when it's all said and done, you'll be able to walk away with a pretty decent understanding of, how you're going to be able to apply that to your own projects. Now, in addition to the cost of the seminars itself, you also get, it'll come included with breakfast and lunch. You get drinks throughout the seminar. You also get access to one of the evening social events. I'm not quite sure what's planned for what night, but you get access to one of the social events, as well as access for every day of the boat show. So you get admission to all days of the power and all days of the sail shows. So when you add it all together, it's actually not a bad deal. But the spots are limited. I'm not sure exactly how many we have available left, on the top of my head, but I know that there are a few spots available. So again, if that's something that you would be interested in, if you're going to be able to attend, links for that also will be down below in the description. So with that out of the way, let's actually get into the video. Now, a comment that I've been getting several times over the past few months is that people are under the presumption that I am a powerboat guy. And I can see why people would think that. I mean, the only project that I've been on since we moved here to Michigan was I've been working on this Bertram, and really that's been about it. Now, the funny thing is that that's not the case, like not even close. I don't mind working on powerboats. I kind of like it, but I love working on sailboats. I always have. Kind of a funny little thing looking way back at the very beginning. When I first started getting into working on boats, the marina that I really kind of honed in on, it was Port Superior Marina. I was in Bayfield. And the sole reason that I focused in on that marina was because they were like 90% sailboats. I think it was at around between 225 and 250 slips. And again, like 90% sailboats, which was right up my alley. Now, when we were younger, my wife and I, we lived on our boat. We, in the spring, summer, and fall for 2 years, we lived on our boat. It was a Cal 330. I think it was a 1974 or 76. One of those two, but it was a Cal 330. Loved that thing. We lived on it, like I said, spring, summer, and fall for 2 years. And then in the wintertime, we would rent a house somewhere in Bayfield and then wait until the white stuff went away and back out on the boat we went. Loved it. Some of the best years of my life. Now, since then, I haven't really had any time on a sailboat at all. So since we've moved here to Michigan, I've always had my eye kind of on the look, to see if I could find something that would work for us, right? Now, my situation now is a lot different than it was, 20 years ago when we bought our first boat. I am not looking to have a large boat that you can't move yourself, right? I guess maybe in my old age I'm getting a little bit more practical. So, there were some criteria that I was looking for, for the sailboat that I want to get now, and I haven't had any luck finding one until recently. So some of this criteria is, obviously, I want it to be trailerable. I want it to be able to accommodate upwards of 4 people. And, it doesn't, so by doing that, by looking at those two things, trailerable and accommodate up to 4 people, those are typically kind of contradictory items that you're looking for, just because in order to get 4 people, you're probably going to be looking at a larger boat. But in order to have it trailerable, you're looking at a smaller boat, right? So, but I've been kind of keeping my eye out, looking at the listings through the local marinas, checking Facebook and that kind of thing. Well, this past week, there was a listing that popped up. It's for a 1970, a West Wind Pace Ship, 24-foot, 1970. So this thing has got some years on it, a few more than I do. And there weren't many pictures. There wasn't a whole lot of information, but I did get a hold of the seller. Went out and looked at it yesterday, and in a lot of ways, this thing checks a lot of boxes. It's at the larger end of what I think I can fit it in the shop here. That was the measurements I was taking here at the beginning of this video. I think I'll be able to get it in here and still keep the Bertram as well, but it has 4 bunks. It's got a lot of dead space, a lot of options where things could be kind of customized a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be, it'll be cozy as long as you get along really well with the other 3 people that are on the boat, put it that way. But it is trailerable. There are some questions that I have about the trailer, which we're going to be kind of working through here over the next week. I'm hoping to be able to get, at least something finalized before I leave for Annapolis, but we shall see. But it checks all of the boxes. And I have been looking for something like this for a very, very long time. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up. There's still, certainly some things that could go sideways on this. But right now, it's looking promising. Now, as far as its current condition, overall, all things considered, it looks pretty good. Now, the way that you're looking at it now, it has been sitting here in this position for the last 20 years. My understanding is that when the current owner, they picked it up, moved it from Chicago up to northern Wisconsin, and parked it. Had hopes of one day being able to actually jump in, but as life typically goes, it gets busy, and whatever isn't on a must-do list typically gets kicked to the end of the page. And that was exactly what happened here in his situation. He had it looking at him for the last 20 years, and he hadn't had a chance to really do anything with it. Circumstances are changing, and he needs that real estate back. So he's looking to move the boat, and I'm looking to get the boat. So we'll see. Now, as far as the condition and the quality or the construction of this boat, being an old boat, again, I'm going to say it's old because it's damn near, well, it's a little bit older than I am, and I'm almost as old as dirt. So, but boats built back in the early 70s are much more stout and much, in my opinion, better built than anything you're going to find new today. Unless you're looking at, a high 6-figure, 7-figure boats, you're not going to get the same quality of construction off of something built new today versus something built 50 years ago. It doesn't work out. I've never been proven wrong on that theory. The hull and the decks they're solid glass. There's no coring that I was able to find. I went through with my moisture meter. I sound the deck. I sound the hull. I tapped everything. There is no coring anywhere on the exterior of this boat. The only place where there is some rot is down below in the interior. And that's to be expected. Port lights are blown out. This thing has been leaking. It's been covered off and on over the last 20 years. So there's been a lot of water that's gotten in there, and a lot of it's drained out. But the point being, it's had exposure to moisture for the past 20 years. So the sole down below in the salon rotted out. The bulkheads are shot. A lot of all the woodwork. So some of the cabinetry shot. I don't know what's going on, if anything, below the sole or the flooring inside the main salon. You know, I'll have to wait and rip that out, but I wasn't about to do that because, no, the boat's not mine yet. As far as the exterior is, the type of work that's going to be involved there, that's just going to be a full, freshening up. There is no exterior glasswork per se, and this is something that really surprised me. There were no stress cracks that I found. I'm not saying that there aren't any, but again, all solid glass, hand laid up. There, I didn't see any stress cracks anywhere in the radiuses, from impact, nothing. That is very, very rare. But the exterior is basically a refinish only. So strip it down, clean it. It's filthy now, but clean it, strip it all down. Prime it and paint it, give it a brand new lipstick, I guess. Make it look good. All the work is going to be on the interior. Now, kind of the beauty of the way that this boat is laid out is, like I had mentioned, there's a lot of open space. There's 4 bunks. You get 2 people sleeping up in the V berth, and then 1 person each on the port and starboard quarter berths. And after that, there's a small little sink. And I think there's a small little built-in cooler. I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, but everything else is just open storage. So kind of what I'm thinking is that opens the door for a lot of customization to make it more suitable, instead of like a 4, maybe 5 person, evening sailor. It wouldn't take that much to make some small changes and turn it into an actual weekend or even a week-long little cruising boat. That's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. When I was driving down to take a look at it, again, you're on the road driving, your mind's going a million miles an hour, at least mine always does. And, I'm sitting here thinking, for next summer, it would be pretty cool to be able to take this boat and plop it in one of the marinas, whether it's in Saxon Harbor, Black River Harbor, whatever, Ashland, Bayfield, anywhere. Just drop it in the marina and kind of have a floating cabin anywhere we want. We can move it once or twice a summer, different locations each season. I think it would be fantastic. And weekends, take it out for short little sailing trips, come back, you got a place to stay. I think that would be a hell of a lot of fun. And I know my girls would they would love that. They would love that. They've never experienced anything like that. And that's whatever. That's just kind of the irony of the whole thing. I've been working on boats more than half of my life. I've never been out on a boat with them. The girls have never been on a boat. And the last time I was on a boat was, I don't even remember. It's funny, once you start doing this type of work, you never get to go out and enjoy it anymore. So anyways, that's one of the main reasons I'm really excited about doing this. With this sailboat. Now, I guess the question that I have for you is, would this be the type of project? I think this is going to be a lot more approachable and applicable for a lot of folks, because a lot of people are kind of in this exact same position. Not quite as many, with the Bertram project, but with a small little pocket sailor like this, I think a lot of people are looking at something like this for themselves, and it might draw a lot of interest. So I guess that's kind of an open question. Before I, bust out the checkbook and actually start pushing through some of the logistics of rearranging the shop in here and getting that boat moved, what are your thoughts? Is it something that's going to kind of pique your interest and you're going to, be interested to watch, the progress as it kind of goes down through the winter here, or not? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. And also, if you have any thoughts on, different modifications that could be done on the interior. Anyways, kind of a short one this week. This is homecoming week for all the schools up here in northern Michigan, and both my girls are going to homecoming for the first. Yeah, this is their first year, and my oldest actually has a date. The one that does the little Boatworks Today closer at the end of every video. She's 15 now. going on a date. I don't like that. One other thing that kind of opened my eyes a little bit is my youngest daughter, she is the class of 2031. I graduated in 91. We're talking 40-year difference. I don't like this. This whole getting old is bull. But it is what it is. So anyways, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna button this one up. It's been kind of a crazy week looking at the boat, getting everything prepped for the boat show, getting everything prepped and everything ready. Next week is go time. So on that note, I'm going to keep this week short and sweet, and I'm going to button this up here. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found this interesting. If you have any comments on the little sailboat, please let me know down below in the description, as well as if any questions or interest in the Lexil products or attending the seminar at the Annapolis Boat Show. Again, links for that will be down below in the description. You can always email me, boatworkstoday@gmail.com. So anything like that, if you have any questions, comments, leave those down below in the description. I will do my best to follow up with you. And as always, I want to thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you next week prior to heading out east. I'll see you then. Take care.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.